ordered filter in the mail. The whole purpose of this is not really to filter, but the benefit is it has a filter. What I want is I want to be able to see my fuel. I want to be able to see my fuel, make sure it looks okay and it doesn't look contaminated going to the injectors. I don't know, I grouped it up with some plumbing stuff and just got it mounted up now. Okay, so this is the company that makes that filter sight glass system here that I've installed. All right, and that is what it looked like. Luckily, I didn't have to drill. We had 2 holes that lined up nearly perfect. And right now I'm letting the fuel, whatever's in the line, drain. And I put some silicone on there to keep them nuts from removing. And I also put a little rubber gasket against it, give it some kind of a shock absorbent. All right, what I plan on doing is taking this hose and run it through, disconnect it from there, run it through this hole, connect into the filter here, and then have it re-enter this hole there. So that's my idea. Well, actually I stole it from another guy, so, but that's the general idea. Metal fuel tank out, and we ordered ourselves a replacement tank made out of plastic. So we're gonna go ahead and get ready to. All right, so I've separated the tank from the plate, and I'm gonna make sure this thing matches up with the new one. Okay, it looks the same to me. Got this off of eBay. Alright, so it is strapped on. It's slightly smaller. Not much smaller, but a little bit smaller because the straps, they're holding it, but there's a little bit of room left on it, but it's still good. And it's definitely lighter. So should go on pretty nicely here. Alright. Okay, so I also got a new assembly as well. Didn't come with it. You had to buy it separately. Now I was thinking about doing the modification that people do to make sure they get all the fuel that goes to the bottom. But what I'm gonna do for now, I'm gonna install this the way it is, and then I'm gonna see how everything works, and then maybe a month or 2 I'll come back and then I'll extend it. I want to see how this filter is going to hold up over time before I do anything. Meaning, since there won't be any metal to rust and then clog this up, I'm curious to see how the fuel will then react, if there's going to be any kind of algae growth or anything like that. That'll get clogged up in here, so I'm gonna leave it for now. Alright, so I got the tank. The tank is mounted up. I put a little cover over here because I didn't want any I want insurance that there's no water getting in it, which is all this is just some EPDM roofing material. It's really thin. It's like 60 mil, I think. Anyway, check out the filters. Dropped in 2 new cat filters. One's water's in the front, and the filter is in the rear. And I'm gonna say that the Yeah, the Fass filters were actually working because this is what I poured out of them. So I think they were just full, and then they were just sending small bits to the engine, and then I guess that might have jacked up the injectors. But it was the stupid metal pan this whole time, causing all this damage, thousands of dollars worth of damage. So beware of this stuff. I still gotta turn it on. I haven't tried to turn it on yet, so I've been slowly working, putting it back together, because I've been also working on the 350. So I blew out the lines with took them off, blew them out, and I'm gonna try to just prime it, just let the pump run, and hopefully that will push anything else that's inside of the CP3, because I try to blow out the CP3 itself, but I don't know how much good that does. I cleaned all of these rails, took off the lines, blew them out with brake cleaner, and so it's only gonna be whatever else is in the pump. Hopefully there's nothing in the pump, because this is disastrous. Look at that. That is a mess. Oh, man, look at all that dirt. Well, it's not even dirt, it's rust, all from that mill tank. Okay, so wish me luck. I forgot to show you that I put on the my last my sight glass, which is also a filter. So it's one more filter before we get to the engine. All right, give you a good shot of it. All right, I jumped the pump, and here I can see, well, I had already opened this valve so it can bleed, and it already ran through. So now it's just sending the fuel forward, and I can see the quality or the state of the diesel fuel. All right, next we crank her up. Well, it's running. Pressure 74, 7,000 range. Good. Let's check that sight glass again. Fuel is clean at the sight glass. I gotta change that oil. I think that diesel was pouring into the engine, so I gotta have to change that. I'm also gonna have to do something about, it said 3 inches, that's probably more than 3 inches, but I'm probably gonna put some tape on there. What do you call it? Heat tape, keep that heat off of the plastic. All right, let her run. Change the oil tomorrow.
I'm one of the baddest motherfuckers of all time.